Welcome back to my Keep Up channel. Henry Cavill's Superman cameo cut from The Flash after James Gunn came aboard as new head of DC Studios, though other Justice League members do appear. Warner Brothers and DC Studios released The Flash this weekend to underwhelming results at the box office, with a new report shedding light on the film's ending and revealing the cameo from Henry Cavill as Superman was ultimately cut. The film, which opened to a lackluster $55.1 million this weekend, did feature The Flash's Ezra Miller, fellow Justice League members Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, and Batman, Ben Affleck. However, the brief cameo by Henry Cavill was ultimately cut when James Gunn came aboard as the new head of DC Studios with Peter Safran. A report from The Hollywood Reporter reveals there were actually 3 different endings for The Flash, each of which were supervised by different heads of DC Studios. The original ending was supervised by Walter Hamada, which featured a scene on the courthouse steps after Barry's father Henry, Ron Livingston, being exonerated for the death of Barry's mother Nora Maribel Verdú. The original ending featured Barry coming out of the courthouse where Supergirl, Sasha Calle, and Batman, Michael Keaton, meet him on the steps. This ending was meant to show that Barry did not in fact reset the timeline as he had intended to do. That ending was ultimately changed during the Warner Brothers Discovery merger, when Hamada was ousted and new CEO David Zaslav hired Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdy as Warner Brothers Pictures Group chairpersons and CEOs. Zaslav also charged DeLuca and Abdy with overseeing DC Studios, which resulted in them tweaking the ending. While the film still ended on the courthouse steps, Calle and Keaton were joined by Cavill's Superman and Gadot's Wonder Woman. Cavill's Superman was also appearing in a post-credits cameo in Black Adam, and while DC executives weren't moving forward with a Supergirl movie, they didn't want to kill her off and were open to her returning in another capacity in the future. That ending was filmed in September with Cavill, Gadot, Calle, and Keaton, though things would change drastically just 2 months later. Warner Brothers announced in November that James Gunn and Peter Safran were coming aboard as the new heads of DC Studios, overseeing the franchise. One of their first official actions as DC Studios heads was scrapping Henry Cavill's new Superman film, while also canceling Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3. They also scrapped the second ending, though sources claim that Gunn and Safran still wanted to keep the basic premise that Barry Allen thinks all is right, but then has the rug pulled out at the last moment. Gunn and Safran both joked during the filmmaking process, "How many Batmen can we get?" They then decided to go after George Clooney, who played Batman in the ill-fated 1997 movie Batman and Robin, which ultimately killed the franchise until Christopher Nolan's beloved Dark Knight trilogy years later. Gunn and Safran both reached out to Clooney's agent, CAA's Brian Lord, showed Clooney a cut of the movie and he agreed to be in it. Clooney shot the scene in January with controversial star Ezra Miller, which was the first time Miller was on the set since his meeting with DeLuca and Abdy to discuss his recent behavior. The studio kept a lid on the ending for 6 months, even cutting the ending from the first public screening of the film in April at the CinemaCon convention. The first time the new ending was seen was during press screenings on June 4, and again at the Los Angeles premiere on June 12. It's rare that you have a movie in post-production that faces 3 separate regimes with 3 separate agendas. None of them were scrapped because of ill will, just different visions, an insider stated. Source: dailymail.co.uk. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.